When shall we three meet up again? I could do next Tuesday.
I did say the staff was going to make a return. And it is wedged in place. Oh, there we go. That works. Anyways. Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos witching.
We've got the second instalment in the Witches sub-series of the Discworld, aka book 6 of Discworld. I think it's book 6. Pretty sure it's book 6. But yeah, book 2 on Witches, book 6 in the actual chronological timeline of the Discworld, depending on how you read it. This is book 2 for me, because I am reading it through the sub-series of Witches, and I'm so happy I'm doing that. Oh my god, Granny Weatherwax is hilarious and a force to be reckoned with. Oh my goodness, do not come knocking on her door. Oh, that was so creepy. We had one amazing scene where a sergeant is just knocking on her door, just demanding to, like, supposed to be arresting the witches, and yet we just get this really good scene of him just like spreading his foot. Right, everybody spread out, and then he just knocks on the door, like very, very, very faintly, because he's very scared of what might happen, and he's just like, okay, nobody home, let's go. And then the door just like does that creepy opening of the door that it's expected to, and he kind of clears his throat, and Granny Weatherwax is just like, oh, good thing you came to me when you did. Right next to him, just randomly appears next to him, and as he's explaining to the Duke what happened, she gave me a cup of tea, sir. And what did your men think of this? She gave them a cup of tea too, sir. It was so good. And it was just like, she also gave me a button. It's just so good. The whole thing just went from eerie to deflated British humour, and it's just so good. I love it. I love Granny Weatherwax. I'm glad I chose this series. Oh goodness. It's so good. So, just this book is definitely better than Equal Rights, just because of how I found myself laughing out loud way more rather than the faint chuckle, and it is down to it being the 6th book, because Pratchett has gotten comfortable in his writing, and you can tell it's so much better and clearer and more witty and hilarious. It's so good. This is kind of like a commentary on the Macbeth play. Obviously, I haven't got any clue about it, because I am not a Shakespeare person. And when I say that, I mean you don't have to be a Shakespeare person to know about Macbeth. I just didn't do Macbeth in school. I think my brother did, but I got the one about absolute bugger all and the one with the merchant. Yeah, that one. But yes. So yeah, the 2 Shakespeare plays that I know, yeah, not great. But so I only know Macbeth has something to do with witches, a king, etc. Don't know. Zero knowledge of it. I've not seen an adaptation, which is weird, because normally you can see like a what was it? Like one of those reboots of a story. Do not bring up Lion King. That is loosely based off, not actually like supposed to be a reboot of Macbeth. It's just loosely based. So generally no idea of anything about Macbeth or Shakespeare, but I can see it from what I do know, and I can imagine my experience would have been better if I did. But all in all, even if I didn't, it was still a hell of a good time. It was so good. And I didn't have to understand the references, which was brilliant. I just cackled my way through quite a few places, and the humour was spot on, and a lot of it was typical British humour. So I do want to explore some American reviewers when they first encounter Pratchett. Like, I would really like to see how Americans tackle some of the British humour and how they view it. But other than that, so standout characters include the other two witches we get. I'm already forgetting how you pronounce these names, but Magrat, who is the youngest of the three witches, just wants to start a coven and has modern ideas for how witchcraft should be because she's been reading books. And is actually quite innocent in a few areas. Has a few like conversations with how Granny Weatherwax thinks things should be, and she's not. She believes witchcraft should be like runes and fancy jewelry that has whatchamacallit, all these different spangles and stuff, and it's just like, whereas Granny Weatherwax is more of a headology and making people think things, and there is actual magic involved, but it's just like most of it is headology, and I love the concept, and I like seeing when Granny Weatherwax's like loses it, and like her complete composure and her temper, and she has to be restrained by the other two, and Granny Og is just like, quick, grab her like, as she just nearly, as she takes off the wheels of a carriage that's like whisking itself away before she does any more damage. It's really good how magic just is explored as not this like solid rigid thing, but as something that can be something people can't grasp, and B, something people can grasp, but it's not the whole picture, and you can actually get an idea of that one particular thing, whereas the whole vast majority of it is doing its own thing. And how magic is just somehow always appearing in the Ramtop Mountains, and it's just got a life of its own now because it's just roaming about, and even things like certain critters are walking backwards because of it. Certain things are doing just odd things are astir in this place where magic is just like roaming free. It's quite funny reading Pratchett's way of describing that, but also the weather has a life of its own, because the weather has been studying this typhoon over there and going, okay, I'm taking notes, I can do that, and it's been like this storm has been resting and is waiting for its big moment, and then finally it's crashing, because it at the beginning it's just like stabbing inefficiently lightning down like an inefficient assassin, and it's just, I love how the weather has been described, and I'm taking notes. Oh my goodness, just how normal human personality traits are just being adapted to the weather, the mist that kind of like gets out of the way of Granny Weatherwax efficiently. It knows how to do it, and it is expected to do it. And yeah, so the main plot is there's a murder of a king, and his heir, his only son because kings do, yeah. But yeah, he gets whisked away into the Ramtop Mountains, and the guy who's been pursued, the guy who's like taken the baby into like safer arms, is being pursued by the men who are under orders from the people who have basically killed the king. And the baby is just like whisked into the coven of these three witches: Granny Weatherwax, Granny Og, and Magrat. And did I say Granny Og? Nanny Og. That's how you have to tell the two apart. Is Granny Weatherwax, Nanny Og, and it's just Magrat. But yeah, and they kind of hide the baby in the theatre, in a theatre troupe that are travelling around. Because Granny Weatherwax lost her temper because the king won against her, she's just like, I'm not taking this well. I cannot wait for the boy to grow up. Let's move time. she just like refuses to like let things deal, like, because she has a whole do not meddle, let things resolve themselves. People are going to work things out for themselves. But by God, is she pissed off when the king is like turning everybody against her, like spreading rumors and falsehoods, just like witches are cursing everybody. And like rumors do, people start noticing when things go wrong a little bit more. And yeah, we don't get to see that in its fullest, but we do get some hilarious accounts of tax people trying to come around and tax the witches. Nobody dare tax the witches beforehand because it's a best good idea to let them be. But the Duke is like, no taxes. The witches gotta pay taxes. I also love how even the Duke is going kind of mad because he can't get the blood off his hands. So he's just like scrubbing his knife hand clean and trying his best to get the blood to go away. But no matter how hard he scrubs, there's going to be blood because he's making himself bleed by constantly scrubbing his hand. And the guilt over that is just driving him, like, he's kind of losing his sanity in a way. And by the end, he's just like, he thinks he's dead because he's just knifed himself, but it's like a fake dagger, and he's just like, I'm gonna go haunt the walls now, with a sheet over his head, and death has made a return, and he's just like, no, that the living can't haunt me, no. Oh, it's quite, it kind of came together quite weirdly at the end, and I have to say, I honestly, I have no thoughts of the ending. It's just things happened, and it was a bloody good laugh as they happened, and especially when it kind of felt like a Lemony Snicket's a series unfortunate of events where there was a play and they used the play as a device to further the plot. Either that or Lemony Snicket got it from Macbeth. I don't know. I've not read Macbeth. I've not seen Macbeth. No. So, which came first, chicken or the egg? I haven't got a freaking clue. A lot of this is going over my head again because I don't know Macbeth. But at the same time, I will read parodies of really well-known things. Like, I've got some Spike Milligan retells things, a collection of those, and I'll probably read those before reading the actual classics, because I think there's a one where I have read where Spike Milligan retells Frankenstein, and I have read Frankenstein, and I can imagine I'm gonna get more out of it that I have read it than if I haven't. But again, that's more of on me. I'm going to suffer from lack of understanding references, but it's fine. It's totally fine. I can get by that. So yeah, there's that. So is there anything else that I need to mention in this besides, oh my god, you just the whole commentary on how true kings actually do torture people. They don't muck about with waving the stuff about and laughing maniacally and sitting alone in the thing to like stew up fear. Like, true kings just get down to it. Because we have this scene where Nanny Og is like in stocks, which is basically the scene on the cover, and the Duke and the Duchess is like doing the tortures, like doing the actual torture, which is not what you'd expect. You'd expect the lackeys to do it, like the sergeant or some of the other soldiers, not the actual people in charge of the country. Yeah. So I was not expecting that. But there's also the conversations of, oh yeah, the old king, he was a good king. He still burnt down cottages, but at least he let them out first. And then there was like a comment from the king's ghost later going, it's good for the building industry to do that, yeah. And it's just like, okay. It's just like played off for laughs. Two minds in, because this is supposed to be like quite satirical, but at the same time it's just like, I would not want to be in that cottage. Also, why is the fool being called a fool when he's the most intelligent person in the room? And I can't actually get over the fact that he's the one who's coming up with the ideas to outdo the witches, and the Duke and Duchess are just carrying out what the fool is saying, and yet he's being redeemed at the end. It's just like, can we please call out that? Because it kind of feels like he got away from like the accountability that he's the one that gave them the ideas. I know he's like bound to like do his duty to his master, but at the same time it's just like, he's in love with a witch, but he's gonna like help undo their reputation. And yeah, I also did enjoy the trying to rewrite history by not actually undoing what happened, but people's memories. And it was all like calling upon history is written by the winners, and that's what this whole play that they hire out to do, is to rewrite that history. Like, yes, that old king, he wasn't a good king, and it was a good thing he died. In that way, the new duke who is taking over, prosperity and riches are coming to the land. Yes, that. And it's just like trying to shape your whole takeover as a good thing. History is written by the winners, and they are literally going to go about doing that, and also discrediting the witches as they're going. So we just have this event to event to event, and I genuinely did not know where this was going until like halfway through the play, going, are they actually going, how is this play gonna like turn out if they are actually sticking to the lines? And hilariously, it just ended up with the captain, like the sergeant who was terrified of a Punch and Judy puppet show when he was little, kind of is avoiding plays of entertainment, just any form of entertainment like that. It's just like, has been given an order to arrest 3 witches, and so he arrests the 3 witches that were in the play, and which kind of like gives the room for the actual witches to be on stage. It's like just dumb little stuff like that, and it's just like, yep. It was quite funny as it was happening, and it was just like, yeah, it's the level of incompetency that you're laughing at, and it's just, how can things get to this level? So yeah, it was a good book. Good commentary on monarchy and rewriting history as something the victors tend to do. And yeah, more headology stuff. Oh, I did enjoy the magic system. The magic system was brilliant, and how Granny York is just staring at like the forest. And when I say the forest, I mean the kingdom has its own presence, and it is upset with the way things are, and she's just having a staring contest with all of the creatures that are living inside the kingdom, and just like turned up outside her house and is like staring her down, and she's just like, "What do you want me to do about it?" The whole attitude is just hilarious, and I love it. But yeah. Oh, I cannot wait to continue reading Witches. It's kind of like, this has been the year for Witches for me, and I love it. And I think I found my new favorite format is just like listening to the audiobooks. And even if I do put this down just to crochet witch hats as I'm listening to the audiobook, it's actually quite nice and relaxing. So I have found my new favorite format is just like not actually reading physical book, but listening to the audio whilst making the witch hats. That is my new favorite thing, because I get what is going on. I'm just making witch hats while listening to Pratchett's Witches stories. It's absolutely brilliant. Do recommend, actually. So, yes. Wyrd Sisters by Terry Pratchett. Absolutely brilliant, even if I have no idea what Macbeth is about. It still works. It still works. It's a bloody good story. And so funny. Actually laughed out loud several times, and even got a oof from me in others. Oh, I am very much looking forward to the rest of Discworld. Oh, can't wait. But yeah. Let me just wedge this again. Bye, Shell.
And bye to all you other wonderful weirdos witching.
No hat pins, but oh, so good. I love chili.